One down, 51 more weeks to go. Don't think you're getting an award for making it through 2020. The Grammys are rescheduling their air date. Is this a sign of things to come? Stick around, we'll have a lot to talk about. Hello and welcome to Music Industry City's Monday kickoff, where we offer up important tips for a successful career and get you motivated for the week ahead. I'm Peter Schwing, and joining me today, as always, my co-hosts Aisha Damo and the Duke. If there's something you'd like to chime in about, join us in the chat. We're on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube. We're on where all the cool kids are. But yeah, you can join us in. If there's something, what we like to do is after we wrap the show, so the show runs around like 20, 25 minutes. We wrap the show, credits roll, and then we magically reappear. And that's a little behind the scenes. So what we do is we hang out. You get to be behind the scenes where we're talking about, hey, did we miss something? What should we talk about next week? If you have questions, if there's something about the show, or you just want to talk about anything else to do with the music business, you know, that's what we're here for. So anyway, let's start off. Let's check in with Aisha and the Duke. What's up, everybody? How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Happy Monday.
What a crazy week.
I'm exhausted. It's like 2021 was like, all right, we're just going to come out on fire. We took some steroids, roid rage. We're coming out on fire. So if everybody's just been kind of relaxed and just like, no, we're hitting you over the head with the 2x4. What is up?
Yeah. Indeed. It is a crazy world we're living in. And, but we're just going to keep on living and doing the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
know. Dave, how was your weekend?
My weekend is blessed. I mean, we're still living in this, like, it's almost like you ever eat the Neapolitan ice cream where it's got like the strawberry and
yeah.
And it's like, but then like you put it in your plate and then it just becomes this mush and like everything is no longer separated. That's how I feel like this quarantine has been. I don't even know what's quarantine, whatever this vibe is that we're in currently.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the difference between Sunday and Thursday. It's like, it's all mushy to me. So it's been great. Life is great. I'm blessed.
It's basically, I just had to do some little maintenance over there. So to me, this is like, it's kind of like just testing the waters. It's like, all right, we're like, what's going to happen in 2021? And, I'm just, and this leads into like the whole thing about, the live events, whether it's going to be on televised or it's going to be Coachella or Bonnaroo. And, Dave, what was I know you sent me over this article about the Grammys rescheduling their dates. And, this, I know you're going to talk about it more, but like, just real quick, how much of an impact do you think that's going to have for artists?
I think the Grammys don't matter anymore. I think they matter just as much as the MTV Music Awards. It's like, nice. Right. I remember.
Yeah. Well, okay. So Aisha, and I know how this ties in because Aisha is going to be talking about the importance, of an award and what kind of effect in the, everything. I dealing with lack of recognition, I guess, is a good way to say it. So when people like, it's like, I've been working so hard. Now we know we discussed this last week. And I know there's been an overarching theme with like, doing all this hard work and not being able to be recognized for it. So why don't we let you ride with this? I'm going to bring you up over here and, have you ever won awards like for music, creativity, like, going through school?
Sure. I mean, I've won awards, certainly, not any Grammy Awards yet. But I think as artists, I think we all go through this thing where the awards aren't always what we want them to be. So you have to rethink how you think about awards and where you can find awards in your life. And, to say that no awards matter, like to say that you can wholly exist in a vacuum where, your ego needs nothing and you need no recognition. I mean, we're not Howard Rourke over here. Like, we do sometimes need a little bit of a boost. And so sometimes we have to find that boost for ourselves. And so I don't know about you guys, but with all the talk of the awards ceremonies and Grammys at this particular time of year, as a creative person, I can't help but thinking about whether or not my own creative work is getting awards and if those efforts are being recognized or not. Sometimes it's just not fun to think about. And I know there were years in the past where I didn't watch a single one of these award shows because it was just too painful to witness. Now, I know there are some artists out there who really have it down. They're totally punk rock. They're like, those award shows, they're just a sympathy vote for sellout conformist posers. But for me, I was always like, oh my God, I would really love the opportunity to be a sellout conformist poser, just for once, maybe. I don't know, just maybe a little something. Bueller. I think probably some of you know what I mean about this. Well, we may shun rewards and those kinds of standardized awards shows, no matter what creative field we're in, but we're also like, it would be nice to get some recognition. And I've largely gotten over it, but there's still something about this time of year that makes me recognize, okay, I need to take stock of my creative endeavors and which things are working and which things maybe aren't. Now, I want to preface this with saying that anytime you're going to take stock of your work like this, you really need to think about the tiny awards. And we've talked about this a lot in here, the small steps. They really matter. I fall into this pitfall a lot where it really helps me to recognize and have gratitude for those tiny steps, which are truly key because the tiny steps are how movement happens. So we can't totally write them off. As we're listing out all our various creative projects in this kind of taking stock period, you got to make a column for the tiny successes. Make a column for them and then feel into them. You got to feel into the tiny successes. Sometimes it helps me to think back to childhood when there were little awards like a gold star on a school project or a blue ribbon for decorating a pumpkin at Halloween. These are tiny awards, but how big did they feel when you were a kid, right? They felt really, really big. So think about your small awards in life like with the kid mind. The kid mind knows that there's a big award there. Take stock of your gold stars, and then you might find out that there are some projects, some things you're doing that are just not giving you any of the feels anymore. You're not feeling any gold stars. There's just nothing. Those are the ones that maybe we need to rethink or even let go of. But before you let go of anything, you got to make sure that there's not some other avenue, some other playing field where what you're doing might actually make sense. So for example, maybe you have a song, right? And it's not working as a streaming single on Spotify at all, but maybe it would be ideal as a backdrop for an online yoga class or for a part of a comedy skit. Maybe there's some other place where the things that you've created make sense. And that's where you can find your wins. That's where you can find your next step. Maybe you just need to open your mind and just see a whole bunch of possibilities, because that might be where you find that next movement for that project. And you might not need to give it up. Sometimes a change of context and environment is everything. So as we get into this award season, even with the postponements and rescheduling, let's just use this as an opportunity to both maybe find a new course for things that are not working and to give a little more, daylight and love to our little successes as artists, because we should reward ourselves. And sometimes that's what you've got to do. So that's what I've got for this week.
Right on. Fantastic. Yeah, it's, the whole thing about going back to like the gold star and everything. But then we had in the last decade or something, we had the participation trophy. And that's where everybody's like, oh, you're just getting a participation trophy. It's like, and, and there was even rebellion against that in a sense. And I'm sorry for using the word rebellion. I think I'm just stuck in like the whole like what happened last week. Yeah, I'm trying not to over like sensationalize it, but what I'm getting at is like there was a kickback from it saying it's like, no, I don't want a participation trophy. I want to be recognized for something that I actually accomplished.
Which I totally approve of, and I'm all about that shit. No, I'm definitely not speaking of the participation trophy, which, lovely though it is, it doesn't help you get better. Mm-hmm. What I'm talking about are the little things, you know, where you won an award at something small, or you got a big compliment from someone in a small way. You know, it's not like everybody knows about what that one person thought of what you did. But you need to take stock of that as a success as you're reaching someone actually. So I'm talking about taking stock of like the actual steps, like which aren't participation things, but are small but significant things. They have real substance to them, even if it's not a Grammy. You know what I'm saying?
It's the small victories that add up over time. So, all right, thank you. We're going to circle back. I'm going to go over and speak with the Duke for a moment, but we're going to circle back and talk about this a little bit more. Right? All right. So, the Daily Times had an article and it was entitled "Rock Music Menu." The Grammy Awards are rescheduling. Is this a sign of things to come? And one of the articles it was like, after thoughtful conversations with the health experts, our host and artist scheduled to appear, we are rescheduling the 63rd annual Grammy Awards to be broadcast Sunday, March 14th, 2021. Is this still going to happen? I don't know, but Dave, the Duke, he's got some thoughts about this. Dave, how are you? We kicked off earlier and said, you know, the little talk about like, you know, what you feel about the importance of the Grammys or lack thereof. What do you think about this, you know, with the article that you sent me about with their rescheduling and is it going to have like the ripple effect in the industry, especially with live?
Well, I think that the times have changed, right? It was a big deal when Jethro Tull beat Metallica for the best, you know, metal Grammy. It was a big deal, but it wasn't such a big deal when they stopped showing the metal Grammy on the television because metal and rock kind of died. But in the time we live in now, the "you about to lose your job" lady is probably worthy of a Grammy for the internet. And the internet is more important than the MTV Music Awards because nobody watches MTV for music videos, right? So it's like you have to adapt to the times. A lot of stores are closing now because there's not as much foot traffic as there once was. You know, Bob Dylan, man, the times they are changing. So it's like the Grammys, who cares? Like, you know, honestly, it's like, yes, Cardi B still exists. Should we give her a Grammy? It's up to you. I don't give a shit. And to me, it changes nothing for me. You know, it's like it was Nicki Minaj, then it was Cardi B, now it's Megan Thee Stallion. Great. It's great. You know what I'm saying? But you ain't defeating the internet. The internet is the thing that matters now. All that other stuff doesn't matter. If you watch that clip of David Bowie talking about the internet in the late 90s that went viral again recently, he broke it all down to you. And the current climate that we're living right now is very interesting how they shut Donald Trump's voice up on the internet, right? So imagine if you had a voice in the music business and then all of a sudden your voice didn't exist anymore. That to me is the MTV Music Awards. That to me is the Grammys. It's something that is like it mattered at one point and then it just stopped mattering. And to kind of connect to what Aisha was saying about awards do matter. I have won awards. They're awesome. They sit on the wall, but they don't really mean anything to me spiritually. And I think spiritually is more important to be fed than it is to have wonderful things that you need to dust off every couple of years that are cool little things that shine. You know, it's better to be spiritually fed than it is to have any type of physical thing. It's important to understand that our light that we are blessed with in this life is very short. right? If you think about the beach, and I always live life this way, I always compare it to the beach. We are all grains of sand on the beach of life. And the beach is very, very big. When you zoom out, we can't see you anymore. It doesn't matter if you have a Grammy. It doesn't matter. None of that shit matters. It only matters is, did you bring service, positivity, compassion, empathy, and light to the world? If you did that, then you won. You win life. It's better to win life than it is to win the internet, but it's better to win the internet than it is to win a Grammy at this point in life. So if you take that all in from my perspective, which is my own perspective, and I like to connect things in the way, and I speak the way that I speak because I'm an artist and a visionary. And that's just the visions that I have for the Grammys. It doesn't mean anything anymore. The lady got arrested and her song was better than most people's songs. You about to lose your job. And it was fire. So if anybody should deserve a Grammy, it should be her. And until the Grammys become the internet, I don't care. So I think it's great. I love it, but I don't care.
Right on. And mic drop. I got to make that a quote in that meme. It's like, the internet better the Grammys. Oh, that's life over internet over Grammys. Yeah, it was really funny when you talk about MTV. I saw something recently. It was this meme was going around. It's like MTV, like happy birthday turns like 40 years old today or something, and it said thank you for 14 years of music.
Right.
And and that's the thing is, and even like the artists talk about some of the awards, and it's like there's the Country Music Awards, there's the American Music Awards, there's the MTV Awards, there's the iHeart, and even the artists like saying it's like, oh, I won a Grammy, but this is the one that I really appreciate because this is voted on by the people, this is voted on by you, and you find a lot of the same cast of characters in there, but you also find some different ones. So, I like that. And going back to the snub, but talking about the spirituality side, I want to get Aisha like right up here right away. So, Aisha, I know this. I know this all ties in together. I know you had, I could see you in the video feed in the green room there. So I know you were paying attention. So I want to let the two of you, because this is really both of your space, like where you can, what were your thoughts?
Oh, I love it, and I love the way you put it, Dave. I always love when you say these things. But yes, like you're saying, better to win life than to win the internet, but better to win the internet than the Grammys. I mean, I don't know if I agree with that last part, though, just personally, because I'm like real OG and I don't give a shit about the internet, even though like sometimes it's this diplomatic thing because it can bring the underground to light and can bring light to people who might not get it otherwise. But a lot of the time, it's just some fake ass bullshit, the internet. And it's like, there's not a lot of quality control. And so I actually prefer the old ways to the new ways, but that's just me. Still, I think it's better to win at life than to win at either one of those things, ultimately. But then on the earth plane, as artists, we need to feel like sometimes you just need to feel like you won something, because it's a tough gig, being an artist. So you got to find those wins somewhere.
I think that being an artist, and I've been doing this for a long time, you know what I mean? I dropped out of high school and I just kind of been on the path ever since then. But I think that any artist that continues to create despite all the outside influences of energy dissuading them is winning. That is a win. You know what I mean? Just the fact that you're still creating and still want to fulfill the visions of your head, that's a win. Whether anybody ever likes your song is almost irrelevant. It's more important that you keep creating. That is the win. And I really have a lot of admiration for people that are willing to be themselves. It's so easy to sell out to the influences of whatever you want to name them, your parents, your friends, people comparing you to other people, expectations of other people. It's so easy to do that, right? Because there's so much money there. Just go get a job at X. They're going to pay you to follow their vision and their dream, right? But their money is everywhere. But if you can actually find a way to continue down your path, you might find that when you're 60 years old, you might be the best you that you've ever been. But the only way you're going to be the best you that you've ever been at 60 is if you did it at 59. But if you gave up at 58, no way you're doing it at 59. No way you're going to be the best artist at 60. I liked David Bowie better when he was afraid of Americans than I did when he was on Mars, right? I wasn't around when he was on Mars, but even looking back at it, I said, nah, like, this is a fine wine right here, though. This took a long time
I really
to
like
be.
him as Lazarus, though. Like, I really like his last
Lazarus
album.
too. That was great. It's great. It's great to be an artist, but it's investing in yourself. That's the thing about it. Like the music industry, right, that we know is a young man's game, is what they say, right? But it throws you away when you're young. And then it really, like, so now music, which is the thing I love the most, more than I love the music industry, music, it's not a young man's game. It's a value game. It's a spiritual game. The player, John Coltrane, at 16 might have been better for the music industry, but John Coltrane at 30 or 26 or 27 had a lot more to say as far as being an artist.
100%. Like, or you think of, I mean, to go classical, Glenn Gould playing Goldberg Variations as a young man or at the end of his life. I vastly prefer the end of his life version. Although, yeah, I mean, listening to them back to back is like a deep experience. But yeah, I agree with you 100%. Except, does the internet actually value that? That's what I don't think. I think the Grammys are almost more likely to value that than the internet. I don't know.
Well, you can use the internet. The internet is a tool. It's a stepping tool. You know, it's a soapbox. What I found, at least, starting my own YouTube channel, which I never had before, it was always in a band, you know, doing combination stuff. But I find like the value is in really speaking your own voice. And then the internet supports that. The internet also shits on you, but that's your choice to choose what you listen to. When I started this YouTube channel, just to round it off, I got called fucking Malibu's Most Wanted, Wigger this, and shit that I never heard ever in my life. And I've been in a band, like a rock hip hop band. I never heard this shit before. Like, and I was like, where is this coming from? Mm-hmm. But it's because now I'm talking about things that people actually care about. So some people will be like, yo, I really like what you said, Doobie. Like, that was really deep how you talked about. And other people will be like, you motherfucker, you this. And I was just like, you know what? I'm not going to listen to you, though. But I'm going to use this internet to keep going my way up. You know, so the internet is a tool. Maybe it's a way to get your Grammy. You know what I mean? There's different ways to get to the destination. You just got to choose your road, you know?
The internet giveth and the internet taketh away. All right. We're going to wrap it up there. I think, this was fantastic. I just want to, thank you too. And so I'm going to kick on over to here and just start the wrap. And, that's going to be it for today. Thank you all for tuning in. If you want to continue the conversation, leave a comment below. If you find this interesting, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell to be alerted about new shows. Tuesday Talkies is tomorrow and New Thoughts is on Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern. Don't forget Freeform, which is going to be Thursday nights at 9 p.m., which would be the opportunity where you get to come on the show. You can also sign up for more access at musicindustrycity.com and find us on your preferred player. Thank you again to my co-hosts, Aisha Damo and the Duke. I'll see you soon. Peace out.